Once upon a time, in a peaceful village in the heart of Africa, lived a young man named Franklin. Franklin was admired throughout the village for his kindness and bravery. However, hidden within his heart was a secret that would forever change his life. Franklin lived with his elderly mother, Amoka, a respected herbalist known for her deep knowledge of healing herbs. Despite her frail health due to age, Amoka taught Franklin everything she knew about the wonders and powers of the natural world. One fateful day, Amoka fell gravely ill. Despite Franklin using all that she had taught him to heal her, her condition continued to deteriorate. The village healer advised Franklin to prepare for the worst, but he refused to give up hope. Late one night, as he sat by her side, Amoka called him close. Her voice trembling, she revealed the existence of a powerful healing herb hidden deep within the forbidden forest. Though she warned Franklin of the dangers, she assured him that this herb was their only hope. At dawn, driven by love and desperation, Franklin embarked on his journey into the mysterious forbidden forest. The forest was dark and eerie, filled with strange noises and moving shadows. Despite his fear, Franklin pressed on. Along the way, he faced many obstacles, wild animals hid in the darkness, and thorny bushes barred his path. Yet, his determination never wavered. Deeper in the forest, Franklin came across a clearing where a group of monkeys seemed to be guarding something. Observing them from afar, he noticed the monkeys constantly returned to a particular spot. Driven by curiosity, Franklin decided to investigate. To his amazement, he discovered they were protecting a patch of the legendary healing herb. Its vibrant blue petals emitted a faint glow, and its aroma was unlike anything he had ever encountered. Carefully, Franklin approached, taking care not to alarm the monkeys. He gently harvested the herb and silently thanked the creatures for their guardianship. With the herb in hand, he hurried back to the village, his heart brimming with hope and urgency. Inside the hidden cave, Franklin marveled at the sight of ancient scrolls neatly stored in stone alcoves. The walls of the cave were adorned with intricate carvings depicting stories of healers from generations past. Franklin felt a deep sense of reverence as he realized the significance of the knowledge preserved here. As he approached the scrolls, a faint whispering filled the air. It was as if the spirits guarding the cave were testing his intentions. Bowing his head respectfully, Franklin spoke softly, affirming his pure-hearted desire to use the knowledge for the betterment of his people. The whispering grew quieter, and an unspoken approval seemed to radiate through the cave. With great care, Franklin began studying the scrolls. They contained detailed instructions on powerful healing techniques, rare herbal remedies, and rituals that connected the healer with the natural world. Among these texts, Franklin discovered a ritual that promised to heighten a healer's abilities through the spirit's guidance. However, it required a profound understanding of balance and harmony with the forces of nature. Taking notes and committing the sacred teachings to memory, Franklin knew his journey was far from over. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its glow on the waterfall outside, Franklin made a promise to the spirits and himself to honor and safeguard this ancient knowledge. After days of studying the scrolls, Franklin felt a renewed sense of purpose and an even deeper connection to the ancient wisdom of his ancestors. He was eager to put his new knowledge into practice. Before leaving the cave, Franklin carefully rolled up several scrolls and secured them in a leather pouch, promising to keep them safe and share their secrets responsibly. On his way back to the village, Franklin encountered new challenges. The forest seemed to test him. Branches blocked his path, and the shadows seemed to whisper doubts into his mind. Yet, Franklin's resolve remained unshaken. He reminded himself of his mission, to heal, protect, and preserve the sacred knowledge for his people. By the time Franklin returned to the village, he was greeted with cheers and smiles from the villagers. His mother, Amoka, embraced him tightly, her eyes filled with pride and love. Franklin immediately set to work, applying the techniques he had learned to help those in need. His newfound abilities astonished the villagers, and news of his incredible healing powers spread to neighboring communities. It wasn't long before Franklin realized that the scrolls contained a prophecy. A tale of a healer who would unite the wisdom of the ancestors with the spirit's guidance, bringing peace and prosperity to the land. Franklin wondered if the prophecy was about him, but he also understood that such power came with responsibility. Franklin's fame as a healer continued to spread far and wide. People traveled from distant lands to seek his help, bringing their ailments, their hopes, and their stories to the young healer who had proven himself time and again. Franklin welcomed everyone with kindness, treating each patient with care and compassion. One day, a delegation from a neighboring kingdom arrived in the village. They brought grave news: their queen, Tina, had fallen victim to a mysterious illness that none of their royal healers could cure. They pleaded with Franklin to help, explaining that the queen's life hung by a thread and that her people feared losing her. Franklin listened intently, feeling the weight of their desperation. He knew that this illness might be unlike anything he had encountered before, but he agreed to help, driven by his commitment to healing and his belief in the power of ancient knowledge. As he traveled to the kingdom with the delegation, Franklin reflected on the prophecy he had read in the scrolls. He wondered if this challenge was part of his destiny, a test of his abilities and his heart. When they arrived at the palace, Franklin was ushered into the queen's chamber. Tina lay motionless, her skin pale and her breathing faint. Her condition was dire, and Franklin knew he needed to act swiftly. Carefully examining her symptoms, Franklin recognized traces of a rare affliction he had read about in the ancient scrolls. It was said to be caused by an imbalance in the body's life force, and the cure required a complex remedy that combined several rare herbs and a ritual to restore harmony. With the kingdom's resources at his disposal, Franklin gathered the necessary ingredients and began preparing the remedy. He also requested a quiet, sacred space where he could perform the ritual, ensuring the spirits would lend their support. As Franklin prepared the remedy, he worked meticulously, measuring each herb with precision and combining them in the exact proportions described in the scrolls. The process was delicate, requiring both patience and focus. Meanwhile, the palace servants had transformed an inner chamber into a sacred space, complete with offerings to the spirits and symbols of harmony etched into the walls. When everything was ready, Franklin carried the remedy into the sacred space and began the ritual. His voice was steady as he chanted the ancient words he had learned from the scrolls. The air around him seemed to hum with energy, and Franklin could feel the presence of the spirits watching over him. As the ritual reached its climax, Franklin carefully administered the remedy to Queen Tina, placing his faith in the teachings of his ancestors and the strength of the spirits. For hours, Franklin and the Queen's attendants waited anxiously, watching for any sign of improvement. Finally, as dawn broke, Queen Tina stirred. Color returned to her cheeks, and her breathing became steady. Slowly, she opened her eyes and looked around, her strength returning with each passing moment. The room filled with joy and relief, and word of the miraculous recovery quickly spread throughout the kingdom. The Queen, deeply grateful, thanked Franklin for saving her life. She offered him great riches and titles, but Franklin humbly declined, stating that his true reward was the opportunity to heal and help others. Queen Tina, moved by his humility and dedication, declared Franklin a lifelong friend of the kingdom. With Queen Tina healed and her kingdom thriving once more, Franklin returned to his village, greeted with admiration and love. The villagers hailed him not only as a healer but as a hero, someone who had brought hope and miracles to their lives. Franklin continued to dedicate himself to healing, always guided by the ancient knowledge passed down by his mother, Amoka, and the spirits of the land. As years went by, Franklin's story became a cherished legend. He inspired countless others to seek knowledge, courage, and the power of love to overcome challenges. His journeys into the Forbidden Forest, his encounters with ancient scrolls and rituals, and his miraculous acts of healing were retold for generations, ensuring his legacy would endure. Franklin's life was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of wisdom. Though his story became immortalized in tales and songs, his humility and dedication remained unchanged. The village thrived under his care, and Franklin's work continued to bring comfort and hope to all who sought his help. And so, The tale of Franklin, the brave healer who ventured into the unknown to save his mother and ultimately became a beacon of hope, concluded, but its echoes reverberated in the hearts of everyone who heard it. For Franklin's story was more than a legend, it was a reminder that with perseverance, love, and wisdom, even the greatest challenges can be overcome. A timeless ending for a remarkable journey. Let me know if you'd like to revisit or expand any part of Franklin's tale. And that, dear viewers, is the incredible journey of Franklin, the courageous healer whose love, wisdom, and determination brought healing not just to his village, but to an entire kingdom. If you enjoyed this inspiring African tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nigerian TV for more legendary stories, cultural gems, and unforgettable moments. Join our growing community and stay tuned for more powerful stories that celebrate the spirit of Africa. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next favorite story is just one click away.